which is called focus map. Focus map is basically, if you are recording video and you have many people are moving around, a wedding or a party, people are moving around, so you don't know where is your focus is while people are moving. In most cases, you're going to miss following someone moving between people, like how do you put it? If you are recording a person dedicated and he's walking between some moving people, you're going to miss the focus by any chance. Because either you are using autofocus, the focus will jump for the nearest subject, or you are using manual focus, you cannot follow him properly. But with this is how it works. The transparent area is the focus area, and the blue area is after the focus area. And then the orange and red area is between the focus and the camera. So you can identify where is the focus is. So that was all about Alpha 7 Mark IV. Very light. I just want you to understand this camera is hybrid. This camera can take photos and video. It can record up to 4K 60 frames per second. And it can take photo with 33 megapixel resolution. Yeah? And it's very easy to use. We're going to have hands-on just in a few minutes. So that was Alpha 7 Mark IV. But should Sony stop to that technology? No. We are always moving. We developed something totally new to everyone around the world. We developed something called deep learning artificial intelligence. A quick history about the artificial intelligence, or the AI. You know about ChatGPT, right? Yes. You all know about ChatGPT. Who uses it?
I use it.
Huh?
I use it.
You use it. You make something crazy out of it.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, good. So the artificial intelligence, or the AI, is basically works like the Excel. You put data, and then you put formulas, and then you ask him, he will get you the result. Why? Because he's working based on samples. He put things together from samples. Camera was working in the same situation. So how camera was recognizing the subject? Contrast detection. Previously in DSLR, camera will see the human face like this. Yeah? And then technology keep moving and moving and moving, and then we have the artificial intelligence. The camera start to see the human like this, recognizing the eyes, recognizing the nose. Yeah? But it was not enough. If someone using mask or using glass, the camera will not catch you. Then again, we developed not only Sony, people, the companies, and then we reached to the machine learning. Machine learning basically works like the Excel sheet. You put data, and then the camera will go to search inside this data. But we put more sample. We put the eyebrow, and we put the nose, and we put the mouth. So if someone covers his face with mask, still we have his eyes. If he put sunglasses, we still have his nose and his mouth. But it was also not enough. If you use mask and glass at the same time, the camera will go into miss you. So Sony innovated this technology. We call it deep learning. The camera is going to learn how you use it. So with every time you take photo, the camera will understand the style how you are taking photo. So the saved sample, what we used to talk about it in the previous model of the machine learning, we put some sample and the camera will go to search for the sample of the eye and the nose and the mouth. It's still there, but it's going to be recognized like this. You see these lines and these points, how complicated it is. Who's using iPhone? Who's using iPhone? iPhone. Most of us. Cool. So an iPhone, when you buy a new device, how you put the lock screen? The device will ask you to look at it, right? And then move your head, right, left, up, down, and then you make like this. And people around you, what are you doing? Right? That's how it works. Because the device needs to collect more sample out of your face. So later on, if you want to open the device or unlock the screen, what you need to do, you just need to look at the camera, right? And then it will recognize the sample, which already saved in the device, and then it will unlock the screen. Here the same story. But with every time you are using this camera, the camera is going to capture more samples and more samples and more samples to save. So if you are taking photo for cars, the camera will have millions and millions samples of cars. If you are taking photo for portrait humans, the camera is going to keep saving a lot of samples for humans. Yeah. So that was before, and this is now. Which one is going to be more accurate?
Second.
The second one, the new one, right?
Yeah.
Because we have many notes for the sample, right? Yeah. This is actually Alpha 7R Mark V. The most advanced autofocus system the world knows. And no one else in any other brand have the same technology. Only Sony, and they have it in 2 cameras. Alpha 7R Mark V and zve1, which is what we're going to talk about shortly. This camera is using the the sensor of Alpha 7 4, but we stretch it a little bit to make it high resolution, 61 megapixel. And we are using Alpha 7 S3 IR sensor to identify the colors and the light. And we are using the AI processor unit. So we have a new dedicated unit for the AI, just for the artificial intelligence to have faster brain of the normal processor. And this is how it works, 61 effective megapixels. And we have the processor, the normal processor, the basic one. And this camera is actually 8 times faster than the previous one. So I just want you to imagine it's 800%. It's like 8 times faster. So it's not double time, not 3 times. It's 8 times faster than the previous one. So this camera has 693 focus point, which is covering 79% of the sensor. And in this camera, the camera can identify the human from their eye, normally like any other camera. And from the side of the face, even if you cover your face, the camera will identify you, the camera will follow you. And from the back. No other camera will follow you from the back. Even your smartphone, right? But this camera is going to follow you even if you turn your back to the camera in my back, and I'm walking like this, the camera will keep following me. And we're going to try it now. This is the technology what makes the people give us the market share of 60% out of all other brands. Not only with humans, but it works also with animals. And for the first time, the camera can identify 2 animals in the same frame in the same time. It works with birds, and the camera can identify more than 1 bird at the same time. And it works with insects. So I believe we don't have any other subject to show, right? Humans, animals, birds, insects. Yeah, there is. It's cars. And it was very funny making a test on cars. Even if you capture the last 30% of the car, which is the last tire, the camera will recognize it. It might miss it in the first time, but we understand and we agree it's a deep learning processor. So it needs to learn. Maybe you will miss it first, second time, but then after that, you try every single angle. It will never miss. And airplanes as well. From any side of the airplane, the camera will capture it and focus. And because we are using 61 megapixel, now we can record 8K in that small button. And if you crop 4K, you can see the resolution. So, and you can see the focus, how it works. Normally people are not using 8K, but they record 8K to crop 4K, and then they can move that square. They can move it during the video if someone is moving inside, which is called framing the person. Remember this word, framing?
Framing.
To have a frame on a subject, and then you move it inside a bigger video. To crop from 8K to have 4K. So you mean you drop the resolution to have this small area, right? Yeah, it's the same.
landscape.
One more advantage of Alpha 7 or Mark 5 is pixel shift multi-shooting. Pixel shift multi-shooting is, let's make it simple a little bit. Let's imagine this is the sensor area, right? And it's 61 megapixel. Good. You ask the camera to take one photo, so it's 61 megapixel, correct? But you ask the camera to take 4 photos, combined it in one. The sensor will work like this. Go a little bit up, go a little bit down, go a little bit right, go a little bit left. To have much bigger area. In that case, it's going to make the megapixel more and more, right? But if you ask it to take 16 photos, this camera is able to take 16 photos combined in one frame. And we're going to see it. Which is going to reach up to 240 megapixels. 240.8 megapixels. You see that photo, and you still have a lot of details in that very small area. It works literally like this. You actually have to, so remember, you can take 4 or you can take 16. That's an option in the camera. You set it, you click, the camera will fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 16. To end up with 280. Sorry, 240.8. Fine? So remember that number, 240.8. And this is a sample. This is a photo. Can be taken by a single frame, having a lot of details. We'll take that part. This is the part, normally. Fine? So let's apply the pixel multi-shift. This is the 61 single frame. This is the best resolution in one frame. You can see?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is when we make it 4 images. You can see the resolution is a little bit extra, right? But when we make it 240, you can see the magic here. You can see literally every single detail, every single piece of that small ceramic, right? So it's an advantage. No one else has it in the market nowadays. So the camera can take up to 16 photos, combine them together. Yeah?
Excuse me.
Bless you. And then, while you are using this camera, you can control actually the size of the frame what you're taking, because 61 megapixel, it might end up with one single photo. One single photo. It's going to be in your memory card like 50 to 100 megabyte. So I want you to imagine 50 to 100 megabyte as one single photo. Your memory card is going to capture 640 if you are using say 64 GB, correct? So you might need to smaller the size of the frames. You can control it from here. And this is how it works. You can make it 60, you can make it 26.
26.
And if you are using it, the important fact here, if you are using it in 26, actually you are talking about 6K photo. This is the 26, and it's going to be 6K. If you are using the 61 or the 60, as you can find it in the camera, you're going to have a photo of 9.5K. Imagine the file. So if you want to crop that small rock out of this photo, you will have it full resolution, full HD. Yeah? And this camera can use dual memory card, and it has a new screen which is normally most of the camera either like this, right? Or like this. But this camera have both of them.
Yeah.
And it was a very, very new to the market. So you can shoot literally very tight angles by having the camera like this, or outdoor, or like this. Many, many, many angles now. The viewfinder of this camera is 9.4K. So when you are talking about high resolution, R5 is the best option for your customer. If a customer wants to take landscape or portrait, they need a lot of details. if he's aiming to record 8K video, they need a lot of details and they need camera to support them to do this. So this camera is going to be the best option. And also when it comes to video, this camera can record digital audio interface. Digital audio interface is going to be higher quality video, no cables, no batteries, nothing. And you can control everything from the microphone. You can cut the noise. You can remove this sound of AC. You can remove it before you record. So it's like from the microphone. This is not really. This is photo taken by this camera. So this is the frame. This is the original frame. How was the detail?
Beautiful.
Huh? Beautiful? I'm not talking about the lady.
Yeah, also beautiful.
Yeah, she's beautiful. I know, but it's like
Clear.
all the detail.
Clear.
You can see single, you know.
Okay. How about this? You can see even the line
Yeah.
in their eyes, right?
The vein.
Yeah, it's really sharp when it comes to details. So we will stop here and I will connect the camera and I want you to see how magical this camera is. This is 150, 60, 35. Yeah, that's going to be this. It's more.
How much credit? How much credit?
Okay guys, we can connect here directly. Forgive me.